The EFCC agents arrived at 6 a.m. Tunde Adebayo was in his Banana Island mansion, still wearing yesterday's Gucci tracksuit, watching his cryptocurrency exchange implode in real time on 6 monitors. CryptoNaira, the platform that had made him Nigeria's youngest billionaire at 30, was hemorrhaging users. 3 million people locked out of their accounts. His phone wouldn't stop ringing. Tunde Adebayo, you're under investigation for financial fraud and... This is a mistake, he interrupted, but his voice had no conviction left. He'd been saying that for weeks while regulators circled, while the SEC froze everything, while his entire empire crumbled. They didn't arrest him, not yet. Just seized his laptops, his files, his last shred of dignity. By noon, it was over. Bank accounts frozen, assets locked. The Lamborghini, the private jet lease, the 7-figure watch collection, all gone or inaccessible. His girlfriend Kioma texted, "Sorry, babe, this is too much stress. Good luck, though." His business partners stopped answering calls. His friends, the ones who'd partied in this house every weekend, vanished like smoke. By evening, even his chef and driver had quit. No money to pay them anyway. Tunde sat alone in his 12-bedroom mansion, surrounded by furniture worth millions, and realized he had nowhere to go. His family in Abeokuta had never approved of his lifestyle. His old university friends resented how he'd changed. Everyone who'd loved him for his money was gone, and he'd never bothered building anything else. His phone buzzed, unknown number. "Tunde, it's Blessing." Blessing, his former executive assistant. He'd barely noticed her in 2 years of working together, just the quiet woman who managed his calendar and somehow made his chaos function. "Blessing, if you're calling about severance." "I'm calling because I heard what happened. Where are you staying?" I have the house for another week before the bank." "Then what?" He had no answer. "Come to Ibadan," she said. "My mother has space, just until you sort things out." "Why would you? I can't pay you back." "I'm not asking you to, just come." He almost said no. Pride, shame, disbelief that anyone would help him now. But sitting in that empty mansion, he realized pride was a luxury he could no longer afford. "Okay," he whispered, "thank you." The compound off Ring Road was a different planet. 6 families sharing a courtyard, children everywhere. The constant noise of generators and neighbors and life lived communally. Blessing's mother, Mama Said, gave him the only spare room and asked no questions. "You're too thin," she observed on day 3, bringing him jollof rice. "Eat." Tunde hadn't eaten properly in days. The rice was better than anything his private chef had made. The first week was brutal. He stayed in that small room, doom-scrolling through Twitter where Arrest Tunde trended daily. Former customers called him a thief. Bloggers dissected his downfall. His face was everywhere, symbol of another failed Nigerian dream. Blessing worked 2 jobs, teaching computer skills at a vocational center, doing bookkeeping for a small business. She left at dawn, returned at sunset. Never complained, never asked him about his plans. Mama Said treated him like family, which somehow made it worse. He didn't deserve kindness. "Why are you helping me?" he finally asked Blessing one night. She looked up from her laptop. She was taking night classes in business administration, somehow finding time to study after working all day. 3 years ago, my brother needed emergency surgery. Appendicitis. I mentioned it once in passing at the office. You just handled it. Sent the money, never mentioned it again. Do you even remember? He didn't. You were careless with money, she continued, but not cruel, just distracted. Now you need help, so I'm helping. Everyone else left. I'm not everyone else. It started with the children. Tunde had been in Ibadan for 3 weeks, barely leaving the room, when Blessing came home to find him surrounded by half the compound's kids, showing them something on his laptop. "This is called Python," he was explaining. "You tell the computer what to do and it does it." A teenage girl named Ngozi was typing carefully, following his instructions. When her code worked, displaying, "Hello, my name is Ngozi," On screen, she gasped like she'd discovered magic. "I made the computer do that." "You did." The children went wild with excitement. Blessing watched from the doorway, seeing something in Tun's face she'd never seen before: genuine joy. It became routine. Every evening on Blessing's tiny veranda, Tund taught coding to whoever showed up. Not for money, not for recognition, just because these kids were hungry to learn and he finally had time to teach. Ngozi was brilliant. Within weeks, she was building websites. "This girl should be at university," he told her mother, a widow who sold provisions from a roadside kiosk. "With what money, sir?" The question haunted him. He'd spent millions on champagne and cars, while kids like Ngozi couldn't afford school fees. 8 months after the collapse, his lawyers called. "Good news. The investigation cleared you. No fraud, just regulatory violations. The SEC wants to settle. Pay fines, accept a ban from crypto operations, and you're done." And international investors want to buy CryptoNaira's technology. They're offering $120 million. After settlements and legal fees, he'd walk away with about $15 million. Enough to start over. Enough to be rich again. "There's also interest from a Lagos investment firm," his lawyer continued. "They want you to consult on their new crypto platform, 7-figure salary." Tund stared at the settlement documents in Blessing's cramped sitting room, the generator humming outside, children playing football in the courtyard. He could leave Ibadan, return to Lagos, to the tech world, to magazine covers and influence, start climbing back to the top. Or, "What if I used the money differently?" he said aloud. Blessing looked up from making dinner. "How?" "A school, real tech training for kids like Ngozi. Free, intensive with job placement. Not charity, actual pathways to real opportunities." "That would take all your money, years of work. You'd be starting from nothing." "I was a billionaire once. I was miserable. And now? Now I teach coding on a veranda and eat your mother's cooking and I'm..." He searched for the word. "Full. For the first time in my life, I'm full." Blessing set down the spoon, studying him carefully. "What about us?" "Us? You rebuild in Lagos, I finish my degree and get a job somewhere. We end up in different worlds again." She paused. "Is that what you want?" His heart was suddenly racing. "I want to build the school here. I want you to run it with me. You're better at operations than anyone I ever hired. I want to keep teaching kids and arguing with you about jollof rice and..." He stopped, took a breath. "I'm in love with you. I don't know when it happened, but I am." Silence. Just the generator and distant music, and the weight of everything unsaid between them. "I loved you when you were an arrogant billionaire who barely saw me," she finally said. "I'm terrified of loving you now that you're human. Money changes people, and you could become that person again. Then keep me honest, be my partner, equal partner. Your family will say, I trapped you when you were vulnerable. My family stopped calling when I went broke. You stayed. That's all that matters." She smiled, moved closer. "Equal partners." "Equal partners." Then yes. When they kissed, it felt like waking up. The Ibadan Tech Academy wasn't fancy. Refurbished computers in a converted warehouse. A generator that broke down weekly, constant repairs. But it was real. They started with 30 students. Half dropped out immediately. The remaining 15 were hungry enough to stay. Ngozi was their star. By 17, she'd built commercial websites and had job offers from tech companies across Africa. The day she accepted a position at Andela, earning more than her mother had made in 20 years, she cried in Tun's office. "You changed my life," she said. "You changed mine first," he replied. The academy grew carefully. 80 students now, 63 graduates working in tech, 15 who'd started their own businesses. Corporate partnerships made them sustainable. The model worked. Media found the story. Fallen crypto king finds redemption. Tund hated the narrative. It made him the hero when the kids were doing the real work, but the attention helped. More donors, more partnerships, more opportunities. The Lagos investment firm kept calling. Their crypto platform was successful, properly regulated this time. They wanted Tunde's expertise. "They're offering serious money," he told Blessing one evening. They were in their modest house near the academy, comfortable but not extravagant. Their daughter Alamide was asleep, another baby on the way. "How much?" "Enough to expand significantly, maybe open a second academy." "Will it compromise what we've built?" "Some, but it could help more kids." "Then we'll figure it out, together." He pulled her close, looking around their small sitting room, so different from the Banana Island mansion, yet infinitely richer. A journalist had asked him recently if he missed being a billionaire. He'd laughed. "I was a billionaire at 30. I had everything money could buy, and I was empty. Now I have enough and I'm full." The journalist thought it was just a good quote. But Tunde meant every word. He'd lost $1 billion and found everything that mattered: purpose, community, love, someone who saw him when he became invisible. That night, sitting on their veranda while the neighborhood hummed with life around them, Blessing's head on his shoulder, their daughter sleeping peacefully inside, Tunde thought about that mansion in Banana Island. Empty now, probably occupied by another newly minted millionaire chasing the same hollow dreams. He didn't miss it at all. "Happy?" Blessing asked. "Very, you." "Very." And it was true. He'd fallen from the top of the world and landed exactly where he needed to be. Sometimes losing everything is how you finally find yourself.